guys, welcome to another episode of Cooking Casein. Today I am really excited because my new friend Betsy, who I met at Pure Barre, has invited me over for lunch, and I'm just really excited to go hang out with her and get to know her better. I offered to cook because I of course have so many allergies, but Betsy's going to be making dessert, so I was in charge of the main lunch entree. So I thought it'd be fun to bring a little bit of my background to lunch today. I was thinking if we were in Austin and we had just met and we were going on a lunch date, we would probably go get tacos. So I decided to make Austin style Carnitas tacos. Carnitas is slow roasted pork roasted for 10 to 12 hours, and then I put it in a white corn tortilla topped with queso fresco, red cabbage. I also decided to make as a side, of course, a little bit of guac. This is my version of guac that we're making today. So I'm really excited about today's lunch. The thing about carnitas though is that you have to start 10 to 12 hours before because it slow roasts for 10 to 12 hours. So I actually started this whole process last night, and here is what I did. Hi guys, so it's the night before my lunch date with Betsy, and I want the pork to actually slow roast for 10 to 12 hours. So it's 10:30, lunch is at 12:30 tomorrow, so I should have time to actually slow roast this for 12 hours total, and then finish it off and turn it into a taco right before I head over to Betsy's. So I'm going to show you how I'm putting together the carnitas this evening. So we have a 3-pound pork roast in here. 3 pounds is definitely enough for 2 people, maybe 3 people. I think if you're feeding 4 people, you might end up needing a little more. So in here we have our spices. We've got a tablespoon of cumin. We have a teaspoon each of chili powder and paprika, and 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. This could definitely be a spicier rub. I'm not gonna go too spicy because I don't know how spicy Betsy likes things, and I certainly can't handle as much spice as I used to. But you could definitely add other spices to this as well. This is just kind of a basic carnitas spice list going on here. So here's what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna rub this spice onto the pork. We're gonna take a little olive oil, drizzle our pork with it, already in the slow cooker. And then mix up your spice rub just with your fingers, and then rub it into your pork. I'm gonna treat this pork really nice. Alright, now that we've got our pork spice rubbed, we're going to add the fresh ingredients. So a lot of these fresh ingredients you could definitely do dry, but I had the fresh ingredients available to me, so I'm going to do them fresh. I'm going to do 2 cloves of roughly chopped garlic. You could do garlic powder if you didn't have garlic available. I'm also going to do 2/3 of a cup of rough chopped cilantro. This would be dried coriander if you didn't have fresh cilantro available. And then I'm going to do about a tablespoon each of fresh rough chopped basil and oregano. And for the finishing touch, I'm going to squeeze the juice of 2 oranges and a lime over the pork. And I actually zested this orange earlier to make orange chocolate truffles. See my bachelor video for that recipe. And once I've squeezed out the juice, I'm actually just going to place these pulp side down in the pot. So now we're ready to slow roast our pork. We're going to slow roast it for 12 hours. We're going to set this to low and let it simmer and cook until 10:30 tomorrow morning. And then we will finish off our tacos with some nice tortillas, some queso, and a cilantro lime crema. So it's the next morning. The pork has been slow roasting for 12 hours. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the crock pot on warm, and I'm going to make my guac and my cilantro lime crema sauce first. I tend to prefer simple guacamole to really complicated guacamole, so my guac only has 5 or 6 ingredients tops. I'm just going to dice up my avocado. I've discarded the pit into the bowl where I'm going to be mixing instead of just throwing that avocado pit away because it helps keep the avocado fresh. Alright, so 2 avocados diced and placed into a bowl for mixing. I've also minced 2 cloves of garlic, 2/3 of a cup of chopped cilantro. So I've got some red onions here. This is about 2/3 of a cup as well. I'm going to do about half, and see if I like that. We're going to do the juice of just half of a lime, and I'm going to reserve the other half for my cilantro lime crema sauce. Along with the lime juice, we're going to add a pinch of salt and just a few dashes of pepper, not very much. And there you are, perfect, simple, fresh guacamole. So for the cilantro lime crema sauce, I'm gonna use my trusty food processor to make this whole thing go a lot faster. So I'm just gonna throw in the rest of my cilantro, which is, I would say, half a cup of cilantro leaves, the juice of 1.5 limes, and if you remember, we used half of a lime for the guacamole. And I'm gonna pop in 1 clove of garlic. Couple tablespoons of olive oil. I'm also going to add some full-fat coconut milk. Probably about no more than 1/3 of a cup, maybe 1/4 of a cup. All right, we have a really good sauce going here. Looks really lovely, smells amazing. But to add a little texture and a little tang, I'm going to add a couple dollops of Daisy sour cream. So if you had a dairy allergy, this would be a bad idea, but Betsy doesn't and neither do I. So I think it's gonna add a little something. Tangy, limey, cilantro-y. Exactly what we want. So now that the cilantro lime crema sauce and the guacamole are done and ready to go, it's time to shred our pork for our carnitas tacos. So the first thing I'm gonna do is remove our lovely flavorings. Alright, now it's time to shred. I've got a big fork and a little fork, and look how it just comes apart, completely comes apart. And now we have what everyone in the South would call pulled pork, but we are going to turn this into carnitas tacos. It has such an amazing aroma, and I'm sure the flavor is awesome. Something that the best carnitas tacos in Austin always seem to have is really nice, juicy meat, but with crispy edges. So what I've done is I've put down a little bit of aluminum foil, I've sprayed the pan, and I'm going to put some of our carnitas into the oven on broil for no more than 2 minutes. We don't want to dry out our meat, but we want to get some crispy edges for our tacos. In the 2 to 3 minutes that my carnitas is broiling in the oven, I'm gonna get my taco assembly station ready. So I've got a small sheet of aluminum foil, which I'm gonna use to wrap up the taco once it's completely assembled. I've got 2 white corn tortillas. I'm using Mission white corn tortillas. They are labeled gluten-free. In here, I have red cabbage with white onion and just a splash of olive oil that I've mixed together. I also have queso fresco, which I bought at the supermarket. It really is just called queso fresco, and it is Mexican crumbling cheese. It's delicious, mild, goes on most tacos, and I have our lime cilantro crema sauce. All right, check out this nice crispy action we have going on with our carnitas. They just came out of the oven. I placed it right on to our 2 white corn flour tortillas. I'm gonna take my queso fresco, drizzle that over. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good, you guys. Take a little cabbage and a little onion. Of course, we can't forget a drizzle of lime cilantro crema sauce. I'm gonna fold up my taco like this, kind of press down the top here. Each end goes on first, then you roll it, whoops, like a burrito. And I'm gonna take the tacos to Betsy's house just like this. All that's left to do now is to pack up these bad boys, pack up the guac, and head over to Betsy's house. I hope she likes these tacos, this amazing ode to cilantro. I have never used an entire bunch of cilantro until today. Cilantro's in everything. It's so delicious. I hope she likes it. And thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Cooking Kaysen. I hope you have an amazing day. What step are we on? 6? 7? Forget which step you are on because you are drinking.